Hello everybody, my name is Davis and I'm here to tell you about some startup marketing insights, tips and tricks we learned at DraugiemGroup over the years. A little background about DraugiemGroup. We're about 115 employees at the moment, quickly growing. Did about 15 million of euros in revenue last year. Managed to have a little over the 1 million euros in profit. We invested a lot of other startup ideas, and currently it's not just Draugiem, the social network, but about 15 of other active startup projects or companies that we are working with daily. A little bit background about myself. I studied in U.S. For a year in information systems, University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. It gave me a great understanding of American market and what American people would like in their products, and that helps daily in my work because I mostly work with products that are geared towards firstly American markets, and I just do a little bit of work still at Draugiem, but mostly I'm involved in idea bits projects, which are Draugiem projects that are sort of new and experimental, and we're working a lot of ideas that hopefully is going to be turned up in the real companies in the coming years. These are the products that DraugiemGroup currently has. The one I would want to point out is Vendon, which is a vending telemetrics system. Recently raised money from Bulk Cap Investment Fund this year, €500,000. They've been growing very rapidly in France, in Netherlands, and Belgium, selling their telemetrics devices. Mapon, which is a GPS device company, is working mostly in Latvian market, but they are growing their export share every year. And one of our latest and proudest creations, which is Istaba, which is smart home solution, which saves you about 30% of your heating bill. We're testing it this year in Latvia. And next year we're planning to go abroad with this product. The insights I'm going to be telling about today comes from these 4 projects, which I work daily and actually started myself and working from the idea point to the actual product. The first one is DeskTime, which is a time tracking and productivity software. It's a web application. It's a subscription service, and well with the software as a service. The other one is Friendly Bracelets, which is handmade bracelets made here in Latvia, which is a typical e-commerce store, which was sort of our first idea where we managed to kind of dip our feet in American waters to see whether we can actually sell something to Americans. And we sort of treat it as a testing ground for new marketing ideas. Obviously, this product is very hard to scale. They are handmade bracelets. But we managed to learn a lot from this product, which we use continually in our other companies. The one I'm currently most involved with is BeHappy.me, which is inspirational quotes and products. It's a community and an e-commerce store. We saw an opportunity in the market. There was a lot of these quotes sites on the internet, and they receive millions of users viewing them daily, and none of them really monetized anything. Some of them had ads, but none of them explored other opportunities of monetization. So we introduced quotes and sell them on products like posters, T-shirts, framed art prints, greeting cards, and so on. So the product has been growing rapidly. We're going to launch the new version of it next month. Startup Vitamins, which is our latest product, also an e-commerce store, just 2 months live. Which are motivating posters for your startup. We have like 15 products, and we have a lot of failed companies and products, and so that we learn a lot about startups. And we read a lot of books and blogs about it, but we want to condense the main ideas and put them on the posters and put them on our offices, sort of a reminder for the team to keep focused and keep working on the product. So check it out. So about the marketing, what I'm going to talk about today is 4 things. First one is conversion rate optimization. I'm going to explain more. The second one is online communities and how you actually can use them to get some traffic. Traditional paid advertising, which is cost per click advertising on Facebook, on Google AdWords, and so on. and finish off with social media marketing, how we're using that, and some PR. So what is conversion rate optimization? So every day your website is visited by your users, and you wanted them to do some kind of goal, like make a purchase, or add in a product to the cart, or subscribe to your email list. And conversion rate optimization is a process where you make more people do the goal you want from the same traffic you get, and you typically do that by doing a lot of experiments and tests on the site. So there's many things you can measure. As I said, e-commerce conversion, which is a purchase, subscription start in a subscription service like we have on Desktime, email list subscription. Be Happy has an email list of about 16,000 users who receive our email every day. So we treat it as one goal. And you can test some other things like time spent on site, which is what would typically like news sites test, or Draugiem as a social network. Bounce rate, which is how many users land on your landing page and don't click anything else. So it's very important in SEO, how many pages they visit and so on. So I see conversion rate optimization as the best way to increase our marketing return on investment. We invest in a lot of that because as more users you can get, from 100 users you can get more conversions. It's essentially the way you want to go. So how we do this? We use Google Analytics experiments, which is a free tool to do this. Obviously, you know Google Analytics, you see your visitor data, but now it also allows you to run certain experiments. It works really easily. You just have to include a small snippet of the code on your site, and Google shows 50% of your visitors one version of your site, and the other 50 users the other version of your site. Obviously, there's some alternatives like Optimizely and Unbounce and many others, but we use Google Analytics because it does everything automatically. It shows you when the test has sufficient information to make a judgment about conversion rate and so on. You also want to Google Analytics custom reports. I'm not an expert Google Analytics user, but there's so many out there that they are willing to share their custom reports on site. They are free. You just add them to your Google Analytics account, and it makes more sense of your data. We also use heat maps, which tracks the way the user clicks on elements on the site, how far does the user scroll down on the site. We make conversion rate decisions also on that. And the way we approach conversion rate optimization is by using a build, measure, learn cycle. This term was coined by Eric Ries, which has written a book, Lean Startup, a really good book about startups. And we essentially make a hypothesis about a test we want to run, which is going to work better. We build it, we measure the analytics using Google Analytics, and then learn from it and change the website accordingly. So this is the front page of Desktime, which is the web app I was talking about earlier. We have one clear goal here is for user to sign up, a big, huge button in the middle of the page. And obviously one thing that users always notice is the main headline. So do you know what's going on in Office? So we wanted to test different headlines to see which worked better. And we made a goal conversion. We made a goal user registration. And we tested this against what the hell are your employees doing, which are a really harsh sort of thing, but it turned out during the test, it gained more conversions, more people signed up seeing this code. And also, we had two versions of the site. One was a smaller, compact version of the site. There's not a lot of info. You can press learn more and see more info. And one was already expanded view where you see the whole website. And can you guess which had more signups, the bigger version or the smaller version? Yep. So smaller version gained more conversions, and it turns out you don't need all that info about features and so on. We also tested the text on our buttons. Can you guess which performed better? Yeah, pre-trial. Users want to know up front what they're getting into when they sign up. Pre-trial, no credit card required. Turned to work much better. So this is how a typical heat map looks like. You see where users clicking, where users scrolling. One of our other products on the company, we had a small Mac application, Characters. It was launched by one of our designers. The line you see there on the screen is where the fold starts, where the user has to scroll what fits on a typical screen. And in the first version of the website, we had the button, the green button on the bottom, and we found out that only about 30% of users scroll down that far. So by learning that from analytics, we just put the button up on the top and managed to get more conversions that way. So what typically works in customer conversion rate optimization is having a one goal per page, clear call to action, like one huge button, what says the user you want the user to do. Use imagery, but don't use stock images. And when you're using stock images, you see lower conversions. Have testimonials on your site, your customers reviewing the product. It gives more trust to your product. And in sign-up forms, TextReach is also one of our companies, and this is where they recently launched an international website, and they asked only for 3 things when signing up. As less you can ask, the more people will sign up. Even if your salespeople say, we need telephone numbers, we need addresses, the more form fields you add, the lesser people actually go through with it. One great example is MailChimp. We also use MailChimp for our email marketing. Very clear headline, easy email newsletters, one goal per site, sign up for free, works really great. Okay. So also what works, you want to make specific landing pages for your sales channels, like people who come from Google see different information, or people who come from Facebook see different information. For example, people who come from Facebook, you want to ask them to follow you on Facebook because you know they came from Facebook, so you maximize the conversion that way. Also make trust visible, like money back guarantee we added to the subscription part of Desktime. It improved our conversions. You want to have social proof, like social buttons, see there's a lot of activity in your site. In sign up part of Desktime, we added that 11,000 people are using our product every day. Things like that really helps. On all our product pages, we have an About Us page. We display all the employees that are working on the product. Gives us more trust in our customers. They see actually the people who are behind the product. This is a sign-up page we're going to be using, and in the new version will be happy. Also provide how many people are subscribed to our daily newsletter. People who are sort of herd animals and they want to only jump on a product when they see that there's more people also doing that. One other thing is really important in conversion rate is page load time, and it's becoming more important also these days because more people are using websites on mobile, and they're using that through 3G or Edge networks, and the load times there are not as fast. So you want to make your website load as fast as possible. We are taking advantage of Draugiem infrastructures, and Telia is giving us a very good sort of a cable to international internet. So we're privileged in that sense. But a lot of startups in Latvia can use Amazon servers and so on for maximum speeds when their websites are loading. So post-conversion, when your user actually makes a purchase, you don't want to leave user just hanging there. You want to ask them to do some follow-up action, like is following you in social networks or tweeting or liking or sharing about the purchase. It's also a good way to do that. So that's essentially the basics of the conversion rate optimization we're using. And now I'm going to talk about online communities and how we've been using them to gain a lot of traffic. One simple thing that I didn't know that's going to work so well, but we use that for Desktime, Be Happy, Starter Vitamins. It continuously gives us good traffic even now, like 2 months after the submit. One website I'm going to recommend is CSS Mania. It costs only $10 to submit your website there. It's an online design showcase. There's a lot of websites who go on there, showcase their design, and it gives a good amount of traffic. You see, I think this is Desktime. We managed to get 5,000 visits for $10, and that's good quality traffic. Not just people who land on your site and leave, but they actually sign up and become users. The other one we're using is Quora. It's a question and answer website. They have a very strong standing in Google. Usually their sites are on the first few pages on Google. We find questions which are relevant to our startups. Like we find questions about time tracking, time reporting, and we answer about desk time. We see traffic from there. Also, if you search startup posters on Google, you see startup vitamins on the first page. But another result you see in the first page is Quora, where somebody asked what kind of posters you would recommend in the startup office. We made an answer there, put our poster in there. We see a lot of traffic every day from Quora coming that way, and it's all for free. We also use Dribbble and Behance, which are designer communities. Probably you know DeviantArt, it has been around a lot, but they are more web design centric. And we created a Startup Vitamins profile there. A lot of people sharing, liking, and coming to site and actually buying the posters. It's a good way not only to showcase your product, but also to look for designers. One of the best designers in Latvia are already on there. If you're looking for also hiring people, see which Latvians are on Dribbble, see their work, hire them. That's how actually we found one of our designers working on the company right now. Reddit, Hacker News, Reddit. Maybe you know Slashdot and Dig. Those were the sites in the old days that gave you a lot of traffic. There was a saying called Dig effect when you get a lot of traffic from this news site. And one of our users put a link to the Be Happy quote in Reddit. It didn't even make to the front page, but managed to get 2,000 clicks. And just Saturday last week, I used Hacker News, which is a Y Combinator startup news site. It's news.ycombinator.com. Looks really old school, but lots of people are using that every day. And we managed to get 34,000 unique clicks in just 2 days for free. And it's a great exposure on Twitter. A lot of people who are using Hacker News are on Twitter, are tweeting about us, and whole this week has been lots of traffic just for this free submission on Hacker News. We managed people tweeting about us who had more than 200,000 followers. You should really leverage these sites and install them for free. If you have a web application, as we do with Desktime, we use sites like Best Vendor, which is a application recommendation directory, all free. You just ask your users to review your site, review your product there. We used App Store in the past. It costs about $70 to submit your site for review. They review, give you lots of traffic. Chrome Web Store, millions of people are using Chrome every day, and it takes about 30 minutes to get your product on Chrome Web Store using a simple HTML code. And you have to then leverage your user base, ask them to go on Chrome Web Store, install the app, review your site there, and you might get featured on Chrome Web Store, and then you get a lot of traffic that way. There's also Google Apps Marketplace. A lot of people using Google Apps these days, and many others where you can submit your site for free. Some you get a lot of traffic from, some help in SEO, but you should take advantage of this. So let's move on to traditional paid advertising, and how I've been using that and find out what works and what doesn't. First, you have to experiment a lot with images and text. You don't want to create a campaign and create one ad in there. You want to we typically create between 4 and 7 versions of the same ad on when we're running on campaigns or on Draugiem or Facebook. You experiment with images, which is really important. Have a great image for your product. There's lots of text versions, and we monitor click-through rate. We see which ads are clicked the most. Google and Facebook these days would actually recommend you and point out which ads are not performing. So you experiment your way to the best image and best text, and you can use that, what you find out in other advertising networks also. You want to be really specific with your audience. And the way we actually find out what audience would work us, we look at people who are buying from us, for example, on Be Happy. We get their emails, so we put their emails into Facebook, see what kind of profiles they have, what age the group are they married or they're not. And we also look at desk time, subscribers, where they're from, what they typically are, which countries are, and that's how we got identify our audience. For example, in desk time, on Facebook, we're running an ad which is really specific, just Mexico and Brazil, small business owners between age 35 and 55, and we managed to find out that audience works the best. On Be Happy, we're using 25 to 55-year-old moms. They are buying a lot of stuff. We found actually on Be Happy about 75% of our customers are women, and that's very typical on internet. I feel like these days I'm just selling to women because they mostly buy our products. And one tip is on Facebook, they actually they ask you to bid between this and that rate, but actually you can bid lower than the asked price, and you still manage to get a lot of clicks these days. So depends on the audience, really. So one of the newer things in a paid advertising marketing is retargeting. So there's a lot of people coming to your site every day, and a lot of them kind of go on your site and kind of wander off. They don't make a purchase, they don't sign up, but they're coming to your site, and you want to recapture that traffic elsewhere. Maybe you notice that some of these days you go on a site and you don't do anything, but you suddenly see ads of that site everywhere. So that site is using retargeting. It's a cookie essentially on your machine. Until you clean your cookies, that ad is going to be following you all over the internet. So we've been using that for desk time, Be Happy, friendly bracelets, literally anything. And the newest trend in there is that not only flash ads you're going to see all over the internet, but Facebook introduced this 1 or 2 months ago, and we've been using Perfect Audience. Just started testing this week, which offers you $60 free Facebook credit. You put a small pixel on your site, and your ad is going to show up on Facebook immediately when the user have visited the site. And one of the newest things they've done, you can also include a small code snippet in your email marketings. So whenever the user opens an email, your ad is gonna show up in Facebook, or also you can use that all over the internet using the flash ads. And one other things we've been using also is custom audiences. Using the Power Editor and Facebook ads, you can actually have your email list and import that into Facebook. They'll find matching users in there, so you can actually show ads just to your email subscribers. So that's also a new way to do that. There's going to be a lot of more innovation in this field, and a lot of sites have been using this more and more. And so we're looking to invest in this more in the future. You want to use Google's URL builder when you're testing these ads, so you can easily tell which traffic and conversion rates and return on investment when you're seeing in Google Analytics. So I want to finish up with social media marketing and PR. I assume you know the basics, so I'm going to tell little tips and tricks how we've been using social media for our international products. We're using TweetDeck for Twitter monitoring. Some of my colleagues are using something else, but I choose TweetDeck. And you don't want to just monitor your brand name, you want to monitor your competitors. For example, when customers are complaining to your competitors, you can pitch them your product, see how you're better. That is one technique. There's many others. You also want to experiment your post timing. Our customers for Be Happy and Sarah Wittermans are located in the U.S., so we post on the times in U.S. time zones. We found out that I think the mornings work the best and the afternoons are the best. We get the most shares and likes that way. Another tool we use is Mention.net, which emails you when your site or brand name pops up, not only on Twitter, but also all across the web. Google actually has a product for that called Google Alerts, but we found out that Mention.net is much better. They work faster. They actually managed to find links that we were not aware in Google Alerts, and it's all free, up to 5,000 mentions a month. You see a lot of Twitter accounts following other users, and you wonder whether that works. And the truth is, it does work. we use that for Be Happy, following users by their bio information if they like quotes. And so startup vitamins, we use the bio information if they have something related about startups in their bio information. You follow a specific audience, a lot of these people follow back. That's how we gain a lot of followers in the past week. But you don't want to be too aggressive because Twitter is gonna block you if you go over the limits. But use that cautiously. There's a lot of these sites that offer sponsored tweets. You can pay a person to tweet about you for $5 to $10. Most of them, these accounts just doesn't work. They have lots of followers. We bought the user to tweet about us for $5 or $10. They had 200,000 followers, no clicks at all. That's all fake. Don't do that. But what works is reach out to people who have engaged followers, engaged audience, and sort of manage to get them tweeting about you by mentioning them, engaging in the conversation. That works. On the PR side, for this time, we used online press release distribution services like PR Web. It doesn't really reach real media. It costs about $300 to do that, but it helps in terms of SEO. Your site and your press release ends up on a lot of sites like Yahoo, who just take that and republish that, but not a lot of real traffic comes from that. But what we found out that individual pitching and personal connections to journalists work. You create a specific email pitch to each journalist, see what they've been writing about in the past, sort of see whether they would be interested in your product, write a specific pitch to them, and then they might respond. And that is what we found that occasionally works. There's a good presentation by Andris Bežiņš from Tech Hub about insurgency marketing for your startup in terms of PR. Check it out. That's really good, and that's what we're using as a sort of learning material for our PR stunts. This is one success we got. We got in a Fast Company magazine in US. We individually pitched a writer. He was really excited about DraugiemGroup and the way we're bigger than Facebook still in Latvia. So we managed to get on the front page of Fast Company, some good traffic, some good exposure, and a big site. Some final tips I want to leave you with is if you're selling to Americans, you want to follow their schedule and their holidays, and one of their traditions is Thanksgiving, end of November, and that's the biggest sales day. The Black Friday, you see probably a news in Latvia that lots of people are rushing into Walmarts and buying lots of stuff. But nowadays, these days, people don't want to buy these things just in stores, so they use online sites to order their Christmas gifts. And one of those events like the Amazon are using is they actually started that is Cyber Monday, which is Monday after Thanksgiving, when a lot of sites in US will have lots of big discounts like 50% and 30% off. So we launched a 30% off deal on starter vitamins and a 50% off on Be Happy on a weekend on Thanksgiving. Biggest sale day of the year, worked really well. And there's actually, we managed to be also on the first page of Google when you search Cyber Monday deals. There's a lot of people searching this, and so you want to actually change the title of the site for that weekend so you can capture a lot of Cyber Monday traffic. Email marketing still is one of our best ways how we got the users coming back to the site. This time uses email marketing. Be Happy. Email marketing is central to our products. Starter Vitamins also has an email list where we email users when the new poster comes on the site. People come back and buy it. Also, really great way to recapture your visitors. Sort of one trend that's coming up in the future more and more is mobile. About a third of our Be Happy users are on mobile. Facebook mobile site that's actually is growing as a strong referrer steadily over this year. That's going to be more and more in the future. Most of our sites nowadays have mobile version, and on some of the products they work better, but some don't. But on Be Happy, we have one clear goal: just user leaving his email and subscribing, and we've seen users doing that on mobile more and more. On Cyber Monday, we actually saw purchases from iPhones and iPod Touches. Actually, people buying stuff on their phones. Next year is going to be is going to double or quadruple. That's all the analysts are talking about. So you want to have the mobile site ready there to capture those users. We learn a lot about blogs from the internet, and there's two that I'm going to point out. First is Kissmetrics blog. It's an analytics software, and they write a lot about conversion rate optimization. A lot of insights from them. Another one is quicksprout.com, which is run by sort of my internet marketing guru, Neil Patel. He's working in this for many years. He's consulting the biggest brands in the industry, and he's offering a lot of free advice every week on his blog for free. So read that. That really helps. And measure. Look at your Google Analytics data. Look at your campaigns and how they're performing. Doing that without data is going to be, you're going to find out wasting a lot of money. So measure and measure. Aside of vitamins, we have a blog where we post a lot of quotes about startups. This is one I find really like. There's a site called Whiskey Blender where you can order specifically blended whiskey for your site. You can choose what kind of whiskey is going there. And so now, the idea here is that startup marketing is difficult, but not impossible. And what I learned at DraugiemGroup this year is that you can get a lot of traffic for free if you try really hard. And this guy essentially says that in that quote. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Thanks. Here's my email address. Feel free to email. I'm happy to share my knowledge we learned at Draugiemgroup, looking for partners and so on. Follow me on Twitter. I'm having this challenge with my colleague this month, who have more Twitter followers by Christmas. I'm beating her, but you can help me to win more, I guess. And DraugiemGroup website for info for all our products, and you can sign up with the newsletter there too. So thanks.